The moment my fingertip touched the smartphone screen on my desk, the notification of my sister's incoming call disappeared. A deep sigh escaped me naturally. The Boston cityscape viewed from the top floor of my Back Bay high-rise apartment usually brings me peace. But today was different. My reflection in the window looked unusually lonely. At 34, I still pride myself on my refined features and intellectual air. However, my sister Vanessa's words linger in my ears like a curse. "Hey, sis. Isn't it time you gave up?" Vanessa Williams. My 28-year-old sister. With her perfect makeup and model figure dressed in the latest trends, she's an up-and-coming actress. She recently got her big break in a Netflix drama, and her social media followers are rapidly increasing. Her self-centered and showy personality hasn't changed since childhood, but perhaps that's an asset in the entertainment industry. I'm April Williams. I'm a department head in research and development at a major pharmaceutical company. The suits I wear every day are my battle armor. Today too, my perfectly fitted Chanel jacket helps me maintain good posture. 7 years ago, that fateful encounter happened at a friend's wedding party. Meeting Michael Cooper. Though he now works at a mid-tier Wall Street investment bank, back then he was just beginning to make his mark as an up-and-coming analyst. His handsome features and expensive watch caught my eye. But more than that, I was captivated by his forward approach. I've never met a woman with such intellectual beauty before. Under the dim lighting of the cocktail party, his words sounded sweet. 6 months later, we were married. The first 3 years were an ideal married life. I built my career in R&D while Michael secured his position at the investment bank. On weekends, we'd drive to the Boston suburbs together, and in the evenings, we'd cook together at home. Everyone envied what they saw as our perfect partnership. Starting to think about having children seemed like a natural progression. But that's when everything began to change. The start of fertility treatments. It was supposed to be a hopeful first step. I went to the hospital between work commitments, got hormone injections, and tried IVF. Once, twice, 3 times. Each attempt brought disappointment. Michael's attitude gradually changed. "I'm busy with work." His words grew increasingly cold. He accompanied me to treatments less frequently, and we began spending holidays separately. Still, I didn't give up hope. I tried new treatments, investing more time and money. "I'm tired of hearing about your research," Michael declared one night. Around that time, his return home became irregular. Late-night email notifications. Phone calls he'd taken private. All the signs were there. 2 springs ago, Michael suddenly demanded a divorce. "I don't think we can make this work anymore," he told me at a cafe in the business district. His expensive watch gleamed in the afternoon sun. I nodded silently, swallowing all my anger and sadness. The mediated divorce proceeded quietly. Property division and settlement money were all decided matter-of-factly. When it came time to sign the final papers, Michael seemed to hesitate slightly. But perhaps that was just my imagination. At the Kendall Square laboratory, I threw myself even deeper into work. Fertility treatment research became my new mission. I wanted to be someone's hope. That thought alone kept me moving forward. Outside the window, the sun is setting. My phone still shows my sister's missed call. My finger stops halfway as I try to reply. Tomorrow is an important presentation. I need to focus on that now. I stand up and begin organizing the papers on my desk. The morning sun streaming through the laboratory's large glass windows cast a pale light on the test tubes on the workbench. I can't help but smile while checking the latest data. The results of 5 years of research were finally taking shape. April, these are amazing results. My colleague Sarah excitedly shows me the data. These are the interim results of clinical trials for a new fertility drug. The efficacy has improved by more than 30% compared to conventional treatments. These numbers far exceeded our expectations. Thank you, Sarah. But we can't let our guard down until the final phase. I choose my words carefully as I respond. As project leader, I must live up to everyone's expectations. The hopes of hundreds of women are contained in the test tubes on the workbench. The days at the Kendall Square Laboratory have given me a new purpose in life. After my divorce, immersing myself in work actually accelerated our research. Our work is gaining significant attention in the industry. In the evening, as I was leaving the laboratory, my smartphone vibrated in my bag. It was a social media notification. When I casually opened the screen, my hand froze. Happy engagement. On my sister Vanessa's Instagram was a familiar ring. The same brand of engagement ring Michael had used to propose to me. And next to it was a hand wearing a familiar watch. My finger trembles as I scroll through the screen. A stream of photos appears one after another. Vacation in the Maldives, dinners at expensive restaurants, and intimate shots of the two of them. Looking at the post dates, I felt frozen. These photos had started while Michael and I were still married. April, are you okay? Did you hear? A call from my best friend Kate came late that night. Worry seeps through her voice. Yes, I'm fine. If anything, I feel clearer now. I tried consciously to maintain my composure. Yet I could feel something quietly crumbling deep inside my chest. From the next day, concerned calls from relatives poured in. Aunt Mary apologized through tears, and my cousin Jane offered words of comfort in a trembling, angry voice. Friends reached out one after another. Everyone was worried about my feelings. Then a week later, decisive news broke. Entertainment headlines announced my sister's pregnancy in flashy text. Rising actress Vanessa Williams announces marriage to investment banker and pregnancy. The article detailed their marriage plans with Michael. A lavish weekend wedding, a penthouse as their new home, and the birth expected next spring. A message from Vanessa arrived on my phone. Sis, did you see the article? I've finally found happiness. I quietly placed my smartphone on the table and stepped out onto the balcony. The spring night breeze gently caressed my cheeks. The Back Bay cityscape emitted its usual peaceful light. The scent of herbs from my gardening hobby wafts faintly. The potted thyme and rosemary have soothed my heart these past 2 years. A half-read novel sits on my bookshelf. On the surface, nothing has changed. But tomorrow will be different. Vanessa's words flow from the television during a press conference. I haven't been able to tell my sister directly yet. But I'm sure she'll be happy for me. I took a deep breath. Returning to my desk, I review the materials for tomorrow's business meeting. An important meeting with pharmaceutical industry leaders. The venue is the upscale Italian restaurant, La Bella Vista. It will be my first dining out in a while. My cooking skills have improved lately. Trying new recipes on holidays has become one of my pleasures. Last week, I hosted a home party for friends. The homemade pasta using my own herbs was especially well received. April, you've grown stronger. Kate's words that evening, as she was leaving, still resonate with me. Indeed, I have changed. After the divorce, instead of wallowing in sadness, I chose to enrich my own life. I joined a book club and increased interactions with new friends. Yet sometimes I wonder, is this a strength really what I wanted? But I quickly brush away such thoughts. Tomorrow is an important day. A crucial business meeting that culminates years of research. Little did I know that an encounter awaiting me there would dramatically change my life. The moonlight from the balcony quietly illuminated my room. As Boston's streetlights began to softly illuminate the twilight city, I stood before the heavy brass doors of La Bella Vista. This Italian restaurant facing Copley Square has a 3-month waiting list. Its historic 19th-century stone exterior blends into the spring twilight. The delicate ornaments carved into the doors gleamed in the sunset. "Ms. Williams, we've been expecting you." A tuxedoed concierge bows politely and guides me in. My footsteps echo elegantly on the mahogany floor. The soft light from antique crystal chandeliers shimmers on snow-white damask tablecloths. I'm led to a special seat with arched windows offering a panoramic view of Boston's nightscape. The table is set with meticulously polished silver cutlery. 7 p.m. Still 30 minutes until the important business meeting. I take out documents from my leather briefcase and begin final checks. While sipping Evian mineral water poured by the sommelier, I review 5 years of research data. This is the final stage meeting for new drug approval of the fertility treatment. How many hours have I devoted to this moment? No way, sis. A familiar voice cut through the restaurant's tranquil atmosphere. I look up and momentarily lose words at the sight. Vanessa stands there, clinging to Michael's arm. She's wearing Valentino's latest emerald green dress, striking a pose that proudly emphasizes her slightly swollen abdomen. A large diamond necklace sparkles at her neck, highlighting her arrogance. Michael is dressed in his usual expensive Armani suit, wearing that self-satisfied expression he used to show me. On his wrist is the Cartier watch I gave him for our wedding anniversary. Meeting here must be fate. Vanessa's voice carried a malicious smile. The crystal chandelier light further accentuates her perfect makeup. Her glossy black hair falls in elegant curls at her shoulders. "Hey, how's the single, infertile old lady doing?" Vanessa sneered, tilting her glass of Dom Perignon. The bubbles in the glass seemed to dance like her words. "How about $10,000 as a baby gift? Surely you can afford that on a researcher's salary?" Glances began to turn from surrounding tables. Couples enjoying the chef's recommended course and ladies and gentlemen engaged in business dinners started interrupting their conversations. In the restaurant where elegant conversation and silverware sounds echoed, my sister's voice rang out like an unpleasant noise. "April." Michael opened his mouth. His voice dripped with familiar arrogance. Placing his hand on Vanessa's exposed shoulder, he continued. His wedding ring gleamed, reflecting the chandelier light. Leaving you was the best choice I ever made. Vanessa has talent you could never imitate. And we're about to become a family. At that moment, a strange calmness filled my heart. Outside the window, Boston's street lights seemed to collectively brighten. I slowly readjusted my Hermes scarf on my shoulders and took out my smartphone. My fingers were surprisingly steady as they typed a short message. "Let me introduce you to my family," I said with a gentle smile. My Chanel suit helped straighten my posture even more. "What do you mean, you, that pharmaceutical company?" Vanessa's perfect makeup was now streaked with tears. Her lipstick slightly smeared, tears running down her cheeks dissolving her expensive mascara. "I'm younger, more beautiful, and more successful." Her voice became increasingly hysterical. Her shoulders, wrapped in the designer dress, trembled slightly. "This is wrong, we're the ones who..." In my sister's stammering figure, I caught a glimpse of my former self. But now I possess real strength. Michael's broad forehead glistened with cold sweat. He frantically tried to pull out business cards from his expensive leather wallet, but his trembling fingers wouldn't cooperate. "April, let's talk. This is a misunderstanding. If it's about business..." He desperately tries to smooth things over. His $10,000 watch sways irregularly on his trembling wrist. "Let's put the past behind us." Curious eyes watch from surrounding tables. Gentlemen paused mid-sip of their wine, and ladies with pearl necklaces began exchanging whispers. Waiters stood frozen, holding silver trays. The air in the luxury restaurant seemed to freeze like wine. My adoptive parents and guests wore expressions with icy gazes. Particularly in Catherine's eyes, there was something harsh. Her influence as a former FDA official remained strong. The senators too looked at Vanessa and Michael with contempt. I stood up slowly but with certainty. Straightening my back, I looked directly at the two of them. My reflection in the window shows me backlit by the night view. "Vanessa." My voice was surprisingly calm. It was the voice of someone with real strength. "You're still my sister. But there's no need for us to ever contact each other again." At those words, my sister's body trembled slightly. "Michael." My voice calling his name held no trace of former love or hatred. Only refreshing resignation remained. "Your choice was right. After leaving you, I found my true family." At these words, he hung his head wordlessly. My custom-made Chanel suit supports my posture. My heartbeat maintained a calm and steady rhythm. The scarf at my neck fluttered slightly in the spring night breeze. "There's no place for you two in my new life." Those final words echoed throughout the restaurant. Chairman William placed his warm hand gently on my right shoulder. Catherine too stood by my left side with a motherly smile. The senators sent warm, genuine glances. The Pharmaceutical Association leaders' expressions were filled with anticipation for tomorrow. The heavy door of the luxury restaurant closed with a quiet sound. Behind us, Boston's spring night breeze gently passed through. The last thing I saw was the doorman bowing politely. This is the beginning of my new life. Blood ties alone don't make a family. True family means people who understand and support each other. In that unwavering fact, I now feel deep happiness. Outside the window, Boston's night view shone brilliantly. The lights reflecting on the Charles River sparkled like new hope. Tomorrow, new research begins again. To become hope for women struggling with infertility. And because I knew firsthand what true happiness means. 3 months later at Kendall Square. Early summer sunlight streams through the large windows of Hudson Pharmaceuticals' newest research building. In the glass-walled conference room, I was engrossed in discussion with young researchers. President April, please look at this clinical data. The bright voice came from Jessica, a new researcher. Her eyes shine with the curiosity typical of scientists. The latest trial results were displayed on the large screen. Wonderful. But let's verify these parameters a bit more. At my words, the young researchers all nod. Their passion reminded me of my former self. I can't help but smile at the sight of researchers in white coats engaging in lively discussion. On the conference room wall hung last week's Boston Globe article. Hudson Pharmaceuticals' innovative fertility drug, strong candidate for Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. In a small corner of the same page, a minor article catches my eye. Actress Vanessa Williams' latest film flops, recovers less than half production costs. Major investment bank announces demotion of Michael Cooper. But these articles don't stir any particular emotions. Because I now have something more important. April, everything's ready for tomorrow's dinner party. A message arrives from Catherine. Weekly family dinners have become precious time. Last week, William outdid himself with his beef Wellington. My adoptive father's hidden talent for cooking is a secret known only to family. I'll make dessert. As I reply, I think of the mint growing on my balcony. My homemade mint ice cream has become a secret favorite among family members. As twilight approaches, Boston's cityscape turns red through the laboratory windows. The photo frame on my desk shows a picture from Martha's Vineyard last month. It captures genuine smiles from William, Catherine, and me. The photo taken by the waves is as beautiful as a postcard. April, the board meeting materials are ready. Linda, my secretary, quietly knocks on the door. In her hands are presentation materials for next week. Materials to deliver new hope to women struggling with infertility worldwide. Outside the window, the sun sets quietly. The surface of the Charles River glows orange. I stand up and pick up the tablet displaying new research data. True happiness is living honestly with your own heart. I know this truth firsthand. Blood ties aren't everything in bonds. Those who understand and support each other are true family. Well then, let's begin preparations for tomorrow's presentation. My voice echoes in the twilight laboratory. The young researcher's eyes shine with expectation. Tomorrow too, our challenge continues for new hope. The family photo on my desk smiled gently.